Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as I show you how to deadhead and prune your Sweet Alyssum. So let's go. Alyssum, also known as Lobularia, is an annual here where I live in New Hampshire Zone 5B. However, it does self-seed itself pretty readily, so I do end up getting lots of little baby plants each spring, which is a nice extra bonus in my yard. It comes in lots of colors. You typically find it in white, but you can also find it in shades of purple as well as pink. A lot of people like it in container pots as well as in their landscape, not only for the beautiful color that it provides, but also because the pollinators absolutely love this plant. When you buy the plant during the early spring months, it's very compact, very tight in form and habit. However, as the season progresses, it tends to get very leggy, and it's always a good idea to trim or give it a haircut to keep it looking nice and bushy. Also, that encourages the plant to keep on blooming and not necessarily go to seed. However, you don't want to deadhead or prune your plant if you are trying to collect the seeds from it. I made a video showing you how to collect the seeds from Alyssum. I'll be sure to add a link to that video down below. It is the middle of August, and we still have plenty of time in the growing season for this plant to put on a beautiful show. So rather than having a leggy plant, I wanted to show you my process for both cutting it back as well as deadheading it. The plant that we're going to tackle is this one here. You can see that it has some blooms on it, but it is not blooming as prolifically as it could be. Let's say you wanted to deadhead the plant. You could always use your fingers to do the job. However, I like to use something like this. And these are just called micro snips, and they work really well for getting into tight little spaces. You could also use something like this, and these are called hand pruners. Since this plant is not blooming as prolifically as I would like it, we're going to go ahead and prune or shear it way back. And to do that, I'm going to take a section at a time and I'm going to cut it. It really is up to you on how far back you want to cut it. I'm going to cut it about 50% back. See this piece right here? This is a very leggy piece of alyssum. This is exactly why we're cutting our plant back. Now what's going to happen is the plant will put on new fresh growth from the inside or the base of the plant. In fact, if you look very carefully, you will see that there is new growth down here at the base. And it's going to now tell the plant to put its energy into making more blooms from that area. For demonstration purposes, let's just say that this alyssum plant still has a lot of blooms on it, which it does. It still looks pretty decent. So let's just say that you did not want to cut it all the way back because you don't want to sacrifice all the beautiful blooms. But all you want to do is just deadhead some of the pieces that are scraggly looking, leggy looking, and you just want to give it a little bit of a trim. What we're going to do is we're going to deadhead each piece that we want to cut back. We're not going to shear it all the way back. In this example here, you can see that there are not many blooms. What we want to do is follow it down to a leaf node. Right here is a great point where we could cut right above that leaf node. And again, that tells the plant not to put energy into producing seeds and instead to encourage it to bloom more down at this leaf node over here. Let's just say this is another example, and we're happy with the few blooms that are towards the front, like these guys over here. But this longer one pretty soon is going to be spent, so we want to cut it back. So we would just follow it down, and we could just cut it at the base of that stem. In this example here, you can see right here, there is a small plant that's going to be blooming soon. And up here, this one has already gone by. So what we can do is follow this down up to this plant here, and we're just going to cut it right there. Cutting flowers that are blooming is always a hard thing to do, but it's such an important thing to do for the health of the plant. And nothing says that you have to prune all your plants back hard. In this flower bed, for example, if I wanted to, I could cut every other one back and really prune it hard. For example, here, there aren't a lot of blooms. I could prune that back really hard. And then in these two plants here, I could just selectively cut back or deadhead some pieces. And that way I'm not sacrificing so many blooms in this one area. So don't be afraid to prune or deadhead your plants. It is such an important task. It's part of gardening. As always, if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Please drop them down in the comment section below. If you like this type of content, please hit the thumbs up button down below. And until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.